Uh, oh, that does sound cool. Can you get? Thank you. Did you guys hear? Can you guys hear that? Okay. Is that too
Yeah.
loud?
No.
All right. All
Sounds
right.
very good, though.
Yes. Adventure Von Grimm. Hi, and we have got John there. Hi, John. And we got Robbie.
Hi.
Who both have been to Spooky numerous times. Like, what was the first time you guys went to Spooky? I mean, how many Spookies have you been to?
My first one was I think it was Mayhem 2012.
Okay. So you've been like at least 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. And I've been to both every year. So.
Yeah. What about you, John?
I think this spooky, including Mayhem, will be our 6th spooky.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So these guys are vets, very much like myself. And you are listening to the dulcet tones of Dark Shadows on Vinyl. Because I'm that cheesy and I don't give a fuck. So, anyway, yes, awesome guide to Spooky Empire 2015. Last night, I did like a half-ass one, and I talked about who I am and why you should listen to me, because I'm awesome. Shut up. We discussed lines, because there are going to be lines at Spooky. It is Halloween weekend. There's going to be lines. We discussed that. I showed you who the guest list was. We talked about why you should do Spooky Empire, because it's like Chiller meets Dragon Con. We discussed the difference between Spooky and other cons, and that's something else I wanted to touch on. The difference between Spooky and other cons, most of the other cons you go to, there's like a couple of panels, there's a couple of Q&As, there's a vendor room, but this really is, Spooky's like, and these guys can absolutely attest, it's a whole experience. I mean, there's nightlife, there's shadow casts going on, there's demonstrations, there's zombie walk, which we're going to get to in a second. There's bands playing, so it's like there's literally something going on all the time. I mean, the con doesn't shut down at like 6 p.m. and then you have to find something else to do elsewhere. It is an all-inclusive con, so it absolutely is all weekend long. There's always something going on. We talked about why you should try to go the whole weekend as opposed to most people who only go one day. I talked about the advantages of actually getting a whole weekend ticket. We talked about Thursday night, and I know these two are going Thursday night, right, guys?
Thursday through Monday.
Ah, yeah. You're staying till Monday.
I'll be only on Thursday and Friday because we're going to New York on Saturday. So.
Not this year.
Yeah, total boo.
Mom, I know. I know.
We're gonna have words.
Yeah,
but Thursday night is for those of you that are absolutely hardcore. I definitely recommend going Thursday night. I did want to mention something about the date of the con, because that's something that's a big controversy now, is because it's on Halloween weekend, and most people usually have other plans on Halloween weekend. I have it on good authority from one of the organizers that they are going to actually have Halloween stuff going on. They're going to have Repo the Genetic Opera, for those of you fans of that. There's going to be a shadow cast on Friday night. Saturday night, there's going to be Rocky Horror with Barry Bostwick. Guys, help me out here with the other two.
Little
Nell.
Patricia Quinn.
Patricia Quinn, and there's the third one.
Little Nell.
Columbia. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, see, he knows more than I do. I know, he's giving me that look. Okay, so yes, there's going to be a shadow cast Saturday night with Rocky Horror Picture Show, and there will be a number of other stuff going on as well. But the one good thing about Spooky is, even though it's a horror con, it is totally family friendly. There is going to be a kid zone, there's going to be kids attractions, there's going to be stuff like trick-or-treating for the kids, arts and crafts. So it is going to be a Halloween experience. They're not overlooking the fact that it's on Halloween weekend, so there's going to be a ton of stuff going on specifically for kids. I did mention the guest list. I mentioned the venue, which I did a walkthrough video, and we'll discuss that. I also talked about booking your hotel room and why it's better to stay on property as opposed to somewhere else. The code for the discount rate. Oh, and okay, to start off this one, the zombie walk. You guys have done the zombie walk, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So, like, I mean, why should people do the zombie walk?
It's kicking off the whole weekend. It's kind of like the same thing with they do the Day of the Dead party, the Dia de los Muertos or whatever. You know, it's something to kind of like ribbon cutting or whatever. This is the beginning of opening ceremonies.
Well, it's becoming a lot more popular. Dragon Con started kicking that off with the parade,
Yeah.
the cosplay parade, and this is like the more logical and appropriate answer. Holy fuck, your music is loud.
Is it?
Yeah.
I love that music. Han? Yeah, I know. Well, can you turn it down a little bit?
No, other
It's so
loud
creepy.
things.
Did you say no?
So it's
Anyway.
right. It is totally a ribbon cutting, and it's an absolute great way. But one of the best parts about it is being able to be in groups of several hundred people, all drenched in blood and zombie gore and horrifying, walking through traffic on iDrive, and fucking with cars that have no idea what's going on.
It's the best.
We move across the street very quickly as zombies. Some of us are like, oh, I'm in human world, I might as well cross when it says to, and other people shamble very slowly across 8 lanes of traffic, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, and one of the good things, and this has happened in years past, I want to say Mike Christopher, the Hare Krishna Zombie, is the headmaster this year, and there's a number of other celebrities that surprisingly show up just to people watch, and that's super, super cool. I've seen John Landis hanging out there, just like watching the whole thing, like, what the hell? You know, and it'd be cool, I mean, because George Romero is one of the guests this year, and, you know, the godfather of zombies, so it'd be very cool to see if he shows up for this. Okay. Let's see. And no, I actually have confirmed there will be a zombie walk this year. They're figuring out as far as the path and where they're going to do it, but there's definitely going to be a zombie walk there. So Friday, make sure you get there for the zombie walk. Parking, yes.
The cultist, right?
Wait, did you tell them with the zombie walk about the makeup and shit?
A little bit. I mean, you've actually done the makeup and you've actually had your makeup done there. I haven't. I've just gone with, like, you know, my camera and just people watching stuff. So I mean, like, are there artists that you recommend, or I mean, how much does it normally cost? You know, give us a rundown on that stuff.
JD for the last couple years I know has been doing it. Him and his group, and they're phenomenal because they have every tool and trick of the trade handy. We typically do our own now. But it takes us a good 3 or 4 hours to get full zombie makeup on.
Yeah,
so
Postmortem FX, by the way, for those of you who want to look it up.
JD's Postmortem FX.
Yes.
They're phenomenal, and I think they're $10 or $20 or something like that. Relatively solidly affordable to get your.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
awesome.
that's just to give people an idea of how much they should bring with them, you know, to actually get done up. And of course, it depends on if you want just a little bit of blood, or if you want prosthetics, or, you know, if you want full body, or, you know, it really all depends. And his lines are pretty backed up, so get there early for that.
Totally.
Okay. The other thing is I wanted to bring up parking because I misquoted myself last night. I said it was like $18 for the whole weekend. That was totally wrong of me. I found out there will be discounted parking for overnight Hyatt guests. So if you're not staying at the hotel, you're not getting the discount, which is another reason why you should stay. But it's going to be $10 a day, which normally it's $16 to $18. I know, but this is the Hyatt Regency, and your car will be safe and everything. So, but it's $10 a day as opposed to $16 or $18 that they normally charge. There is plenty of parking there, and as far as the surrounding areas, I mean, I don't think that there's anywhere else that you could park around there. I mean, do you guys know of anything? I mean, 'cause I think even if you do, you're going to get towed.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We usually, whenever we go to the convention center, we park at the McDonald's next to the Red Lobster, like right across the street from the South.
You cheapskate.
No, it's pretty awful, but we've never gotten from there. We never get any tickets, so people just don't know to do it because obviously you run the risk of doing that.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, for Spooky, for sure, definitely pay for your parking. You don't want that mission getting back to your car and it's not there.
Yeah. And if you want to take that risk, by all means, you know, if that's a tip. But here's the thing. The McDonald's is probably about a quarter mile away, so anytime you need anything from your car, you're going to have to go back and forth. And and these are like city blocks. This isn't like a quarter mile, like only a block away. No,
Right.
it's a quarter mile is like a mile down there. It's
Especially
so.
in costume or carrying shit or.
Oh my God, yeah, especially if you're in a costume. Let's see, what else did I have here? Yeah. But as far as surrounding areas, I mean, you can take your chances. I think they're probably going to be towing. They may not take your chances, but it is $10 a day if you are staying at the Hyatt. So that's an $8 discount, per day. I don't know if you guys have any tips as far as parking. I mean, I don't think you guys know this venue very well, do you?
No, I've never been actually.
John, have you?
To this hotel?
Yeah.
No, I just know from previous spookies, if you're going to be staying the weekend, park your car and just leave it.
Oh yeah.
If it's not
Absolutely.
within immediate walking distance, you're not going to need it. Especially if you're staying for at least 2 or 3 nights, you will most likely stay relatively drunk as a normal person,
Yes.
starting from
Yes.
the moment you arrive until it's time to get in your car and go.
It's the
Oh.
smartest, honestly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, okay. So there's the information on parking. Now, when you get in and you go through the line and program, make sure you have your program. I mean, that sounds like common sense, but I can't tell you how many times I've lost my program. And this will give you a list of like, who the guests are, and you're gonna need this for the maps because oh my god. And like I said, there's the walkthrough video that I did. This place is freaking huge. You are definitely gonna get your cardio in. It will give you a map. It'll probably be coupons for like local places to get something to eat. There will be the obviously the schedule. And there's my plug. Ha ha! I love this program. That's right. I totally did that.
That's awesome.
Okay, so sorry, real quick, total spacer, because I know Demi, you did a walkthrough video on the hotel.
Yes, I did.
I wasn't able to make it to Walker Stalker this year. Eric did, and you did a walkthrough of the hotel while they were there, and has the same attitude that I saw from your video. Was that the whole thing has a very shining, creepy 70s.
Oh, very shining. Yes.
I am beyond excited about this whole idea.
Me too. I'm so excited.
No, we're not talking about our exclusive Thursday night private party. We're not getting into that. But yes, that's going to be awesome.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, where is Eric anyway? Where did he go?
I keep trying to get Eric to say hello, but he's talking about his hours done.
Okay.
He's also cooking, I think. But if I just do this, you might be able to see him.
Did we see him?
Making cookies?
No, I think he's making dinner. What are you making?
Okay.
What are you making?
I like cookies better, but okay.
Now I'm getting yelled at, so let's go back to us because I'm in trouble.
Okay. But yes, he's absolutely right. There is a very shining kind of vibe. It's very large. I don't want to say creepy. It's very ominous. Ominous is a good word. It's very ominous. And if you saw the walkthrough levels, there are like 4 different levels, so it's going to be very easy to get lost. So, but yeah, I'll link.
That should be fun.
It'll be very, very fun.
Getting lost with no reception on your phone?
That's actually a very good question, and that's something I'm going to research, is how the Wi-Fi is going to be there. Let me make a note of that. I'm going to need to know about the Wi-Fi. I'd like to think because it's an upscale hotel, we'll get it for free, but...
No, not only that, but at the DoubleTree it usually sucks.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But I will definitely look into that. That's actually a very, very good question.
Wait, is this
let's see,
for people who've never been before, or what are we talking about?
For people that have only been once or twice, but there's going to be a lot of newbies. So,
Okay.
But no, if you've got something to say, by all means, jump in.
Biggest rule, even for people who come all the time, for God's sakes, pre-order your tickets. Pre-order them.
Yes.
If anything costs money that involves a ticket and you can pre-order it, do it, and don't deal with the lines, and don't hold me up getting in the door because you need to stand there and wait 3 hours to buy a ticket for the weekend pass. Because if you pre-order VIP tickets, you can pick them up the night before the con opens. And if you pre-order regular tickets, you can
That's
pick
a good
them
point.
right away in the morning and just get the hell over with and get out of my way.
That's actually a very, very good point, is that Spooky does make it so that you can actually get your pre-ordered tickets on Thursday night. Or if you get VIP, VIP can also pick up their tickets Thursday night as well, and that makes everything so much easier for Friday. And speaking of tickets, there is something I totally did want to bring up. And I know, unfortunately, because Spooky is a relatively cheap crowd, that this is something we deal with every year. Please don't try to get in without a ticket. Please don't be that guy. It happens every year. People try to sneak in, without getting a ticket. And, I mean, the security gets rougher and rougher every year on people. You have your wristband. And when you go in the vendor's room or whatever, just show it. I mean, you guys have seen it 50 million times. People want to show up for the after party, and they don't want to pay entrance.
Yeah, for sure.
And, hey, what do you guys think of people that, don't buy tickets?
I mean, especially as a volunteer, I think it's kind of, I don't know, you take pride in the show and the way everything is awesome there, and it's such a good vibe that why fuck it up by trying to sneak in, support it in any case. There's a lot of local artists, that are vendors, and all those celebrities are charging. I mean, why not just try to? Even though I understand the being broke part, and people, totally wanting to sneak in.
Yeah, and that's everybody does it, especially with the pool party and stuff. But that we'll get to that. So, John, what do you think about people that don't buy tickets?
Well, the parties don't require tickets. Well, some of them. The VIP party does require a ticket. The regular party that's at the hotel is just considered a public party as far as I am aware, because they don't have it quarantined off in a private area.
Which I don't know if they actually will this year or not, because it's a new venue. We don't know. It's not like the DoubleTree where you can actually just go and hang out by the pool. I'm not sure what's going to be with the new venue.
To make the nighttime party ticketed as well. As much as I love a lot of people that I see there every year, I also know a great deal of them only come for the party and don't actually step foot on the floor. That's totally fine, except it's fine when you're cool and you're fun to hang out with and you don't cause a problem. Exactly. But when you get the woo girls, the drunken sorority girls who've
and that's my point. That's exactly my point.
And there's hundreds of woo girls who are in raver outfits, and then college bros who have no idea what's going on, and they're partying, and they don't understand the concept of what they're visiting, and it's fucking bonkers.
Yep. And he brings up an absolutely good point, and that's one of the reasons I do mention getting a ticket, just because. Oh.
Hello.
Did I hear that? Okay. All right, everybody. Okay.
I think I broke my thingy.
No, we're all on still.
All right, we're all good? Okay. No, I just heard some weird noise. Maybe it was just on my end. Okay. But especially for the parties, don't be that guy that's just going to show up for the party and woo and be all drunk and ridiculous. Oh, and John dropped off.
Oh, no.
Oh, so he did. Okay. But yeah, it's don't just show up for the party. And like I said, if you're going to show up for the party, that's cool. But if you're going to do that, and we don't know how the hotel is going to react, they may request that you be a guest, because this is an upscale hotel, so they may require your room key and or your pass. So I'm not sure how that's going to be done. Just be on the safe side. Don't just show up and not know what's going on. We'll probably ask about that, but because it's the higher.
If you do show up.
And do what?
Don't be rude and disrespectful if you do show up. Just be cool.
Yeah, which we're going to do a whole cast on that one on how not to be a douchebag.
Nice.
Because a lot of people for some reason need primers on that. I don't really get.
When we do the how not to be a douchebag one, and sorry, my computer was fuck the world.
No, it's all good.
I will totally be on the how not to do a douchebag one. I can talk on that for fuck that.
That will be a fun one, and that will be a very rude and offensive one.
I've had,
nice.
And I know you guys have as well, but the lack of spatial recognition, the desire that people have to physically remove parts of what you're wearing off of you, the idea that people think that you're a jungle gym they can climb on when they're drunk. Fuck, I've got stories.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going to be a fun one. But let's get back to basics here. And speaking of being cheap and whatnot, like I said, the whole don't buy a ticket. Please buy a ticket. This is upscale hotels, so I don't know if they're really going to allow people just to walk in and hang out. I don't know how that's going to be, but play it safe. this is a good one. Tipping, because and most of the hotels that we've done this at have been kind of lower end kind of hotels, so tipping isn't really something that a lot of people do. This is a change, and those of you that remember the Hilton from a couple of years ago, I don't think we're really welcome back there because that was kind of a bit of a disaster. But tipping. Now, I do recommend tipping your hotel staff. Now, who do you tip? If you get your car valet parked, a couple of bucks to the valet guy, and they do have valet there. The concierge, and the concierge usually is going to get your bags brought to your room, or they'll call you a cab, things like that. A few bucks to them. Housekeeping, and oh my God, you guys, I know you party in your room and you're getting in costume, and con rooms are a disaster. Oh, we got like John and his evil twin. This is awesome. This is like Inception.
Kind of a little bit.
I figured it out. Okay, hold on.
That was totally Inception. That was awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Come on, man. You can't do that to me.
That was fun. Okay, but yes, this is a nice hotel, and I know all y'all are gonna like mess up your rooms. Let's be honest. So at least $1 or $2 a day to the housekeeping at bare minimum. Like I said, the concierge. And here's a tip that I've picked up, especially if you're going to be drinking in the hotels. If you're getting at the bar, if you get to know the first night, if you get to know one of the waitresses or one of the bartenders, if you slip them like say a 20, they'll take care of you the whole weekend. And that's something you don't have to worry about. So if there's a crowd, they'll usually take care of you first. If you take care of the staff, they will take care of you. So don't skimp out and not tip the hotel staff. I mean, what do you guys say about that?
Absolutely, I agree 100%. I tip everyone. I tip the bellboy, the valet guy, concierge, bartenders. I'm a very generous tipper. I worked in the industry for a long time, so I understand that. But also, in that kind of environment, when we're fucking shit up in there, it's nice to have somebody on your side. Also, as a volunteer, having to talk to the people at the front desk for favors and shit like that, just for the con floor, whether it's garbage bags or whatever, chairs or tables. If you know somebody and you're nice to them, then they hook you up. You don't want to be, again, don't be a douchebag. Recording.
Oh, no, I totally agree. So, general rule of thumb is if you're getting a service from someone in the hotel and you're not willing to tip, don't take the service. A valet your car and you're not able to tip because you're on a budget for the weekend, don't valet your car. I don't care what kind of timing you have. Same with bellboy. If you can't afford to tip the bellboy, carry your shit up by hand, don't ask for a card. I will get drinks at the bar, but I also stock a full bar in my room.
Yeah, which a lot of people will do.
Oh yeah, and it's totally acceptable. Carry a flask, carry a bottle. It's an open carry kind of event, which is great, which separates it from the other events. But I think one of the biggest concerns that I have is I can drink, and I can drink hard, and I have $1 a drink rule with tipping. So at a standard bar, it's $1 per drink I get minimum. I can't afford $20, $30 in tip a night for the amount of booze I can drink. So have a few drinks in your room and tip when you actually get a drink. Tip when you get food. Tip any fucking time you do anything there, or don't do it.
And I do think that the majority of people that do show up at this aren't really familiar with tipping culture, I guess, or they're gonna like lowball it. And I really think that if you tip anyone and tip them a few bucks, I suggest saving up beforehand and use different envelopes. That's a great budgeting tip too. If you put money in envelopes, this is your money for food, this is your budget for tipping, this is your budget for this. That's always a great tip to, when you get your money out of the ATM, which get money out of the ATMs early. There's a lot of ATMs, hit them early because you don't know who's going to take credit cards, who's not going to take credit cards. Hit the ATM early. If you put your money in different envelopes, that prevents overspending, and like I said, when you tip the staff, they will treat you so much better, and they will remember you. Take it from someone who's been in the service industry. I was a bartender for many years. They will remember you, and it'll make your experience that much better. All right, let's see, what else did I have here? Blah, 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 blah.
Do yourself a favor. Pull out any cash you think you're going to need ahead of time at an ATM that's not at the hotel. The hotel will charge you an obscene fee for using their ATM. I think the Hyatt was like $4 a transaction, and that doesn't include your own bank's transactions.
Yeah, it's about $9. It's crazy.
Yeah. So here's a fun thing that just came to Florida, Wawa. Their ATM, and they are everywhere. Go there, you weird southern bastards who've never had a Wawa. Go there, get a cheap sub, get Wawa coffee because it's delicious, and then use their free ATM. It'll give you up to $400, no service charges.
And you can take out in increments of 10.
Really?
Also great.
Yes, so you can take out
There's
10.
no service charges.
30,
You want
50.
$400, do it as many times as you want and never get charged a dime. Knock yourself.
Exactly. Love it. Love Wawa. Is there a Wawa nearby there? Do we know?
Is there a-
Good question.
If there's a
That's
Wawa
something
nearby,
else I will.
probably, yeah. It's
I
definitely
will
good
definitely.
food, too, because the subs are great.
Their subs are good.
Oh, the subs are absolutely amazing, and the coffee is just. Oh my God, the coffee is so amazing.
Now I want one of their quesadillas.
Everything. They have
Making me hungry. Stop it.
that like super healthy snack thing in the middle too, where they have yogurts and they have cheese and like all types of protein stuff and like wraps, salads, or whatever. So there's all sorts of shit there.
Oh, and speaking of saving money, that brings us to the next thing. For those of you that want to save money, and I know Rob, you can absolutely back me up on this one, volunteer. If you want to save money on the weekend ticket and, absolutely volunteer. I mean, Robbie, I'll let you take this one since you've actually volunteered before.
Yeah, volunteering is great. You get a free pass for the weekend, which is awesome, and usually you get a perk of either getting, depending on the celebrity that's there, you either get an autograph, like your T-shirt, or you can get a picture with them, depending on if they're okay with that or not. And that in itself is a huge perk, especially if you're a fan of somebody that's going to be there that weekend. And also, I take pride in it because I like knowing that if the event's successful, that you had a part in it. So that's a big win for me too.
So if you volunteer, how many shifts do they make you work?
Well, just normal volunteering, 2 shifts is the minimum. So you have to do 2 5-hour shifts. Thursday nights usually not an option. They usually take more seasoned volunteers to do like VIP and those sorts of things. So you can plan on working during maybe some time that you might not want to work so much, but it's totally worth it for getting the weekend pass.
And I'm curious. It's like, so if someone wants to volunteer, do they have to take a class? What's the procedure?
Well, basically what you do is you go onto the website and you fill out a form. Ideally, if you know somebody, it's better because they can give Dina, she's the director of all that. If you have a reference, it's much better. But you can go onto the website, you fill out the form. If they don't have an influx of people trying to volunteer, then they usually take the people that have done it before with experience. They usually take them first, but they do open it for new volunteers a lot. After that, you get called, and you basically have to do one of the mandatory orientations. It's either on it's a Thursday night or Friday morning. You have to attend mandatory, one of the two, because that's where you get your T-shirt. Which without your T-shirt, you can't work. It's cool. You get raffle tickets every time you sign in and sign out of a shift. If you do something really nice for somebody, there's usually like secret shoppers that give the volunteers these raffle tickets, and they go into this. It's awesome. You get it's usually like a poster of the show with everybody, any celebrity that was there signs it.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
That's awesome. And then you get other things too. It can be anything that a celebrity can wants to donate or whatever.
Okay, that's very cool. I didn't even know a lot of that. That's actually very cool. I'd volunteer, but I don't have the attention span.
That, and sometimes if you get chosen for a specific place, sometimes you have to stay all day. So like, the people that sit with the celebrities, the handlers, right?
Yeah.
if you want to become a handler, you have to be kind of like chosen. But when you do it, you have to keep in mind that you have to be there with the celebrity from the moment they're there until the moment they leave,
You
including
have to be their bitch.
basically you have to be their bitch the whole weekend. So don't expect to sit with a celebrity all weekend and then get to party so much, because you only have limited time. And then it sucks because if you get stuck with somebody that's not so nice, then
Gary Busey.
and others. I mean, I've heard horror stories and I've heard awesome stories, but keep that in mind.
Yeah, John, I don't think you've ever volunteered, have you? You're kind of like me in like that you just don't have the attention span. Oh, John, is your mic not on? Oh God, what did you do? Eric brought us food. Look at that. Okay. Totally not hearing anything.
I think he just turned the.
Okay, he's gonna redo it.
Okay.
All right. One of the other things I did find out, because I did ask the organizer a couple of questions, Spooky TV will be back this time. For those of you that have done Spooky TV, Spooky TV is an absolute godsend. Now, what it is there's a specific public access channel that you can actually watch in the hotel room. It will show you interviews from past spookies. It'll show you party footage. It will show you panels that are going on. It will show you just everything spooky from this year and from years past. They didn't, unfortunately, have it at the DoubleTree in the past few years. I think we had it in the Rosen. I don't remember. Most people remember it from the Wyndham from the many years that we were there. It's a fantastic thing, especially if you're, say, hungover or you just need a few minutes to yourself in your hotel room. Oops. Oh, see, John's trying to give me a video call, and I can't patch him in. I don't know how to do that.
I think it comes up for you to accept it.
Is it? All right, let me. Oh, see, it brings up a totally different window. It's not patching him in. Yeah, let's see. You're already in a video call. No, I can't do that. See, can't figure this out. All right, sorry, John. I'm still trying to figure all this nonsense out. Anyway, Spooky TV. So yes, it is absolutely something I recommend. Like I said, if you're just taking a break from the con, which I do recommend every once in a while, we'll talk to that at some point. I'm sorry, John, I couldn't accept the call because then it won't patch it in and it's all weird and.
It's called Mo and shocked. Mo answers and he's just like laying there staring at me like I'm a loser.
That is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful.
So apparently my ability to work with electronics tonight is not working. My laptop is not enjoying Google Hangouts. My phone decided that it hates my life. We were talking about volunteering.
Actually, no, we moved on Spooky TV. Spooky TV is returning this year.
No, I will tell you my volunteering thing.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Real quick. I have never volunteered for Spooky. However, I do volunteer regularly for several other cons. Celebration for Star Wars, I've done that 3 times. Dallas Fan Days in Texas I volunteer for. And I have very similar experiences as Robbie, except my portion of volunteering is separated where I was always guest escort, and I can tell you it's the most fun thing in the world if you ever get to do guest escort, if you enjoy the actual guests you get to escort. However, my point with this was, if you are one of those cheap people who's worried about money, volunteer. Take your 2 assigned shifts, deal with it, because you're not going to do the 2 assigned shifts worth of stuff anyways. You may miss a panel you wanted to see, you may miss a photo op once in a while you wanted to see. However, since you don't have to pay for the weekend, you just saved yourself a minimum of, what, $75 for the weekend?
Yeah.
Plus all the free shit you get.
Right.
So just suck it up and do it and have a blast.
Yeah, at the end you get to get something signed, typically, or whatever, a picture taken with a celebrity. I mean, that's how I got to meet Robert a few times, and several people. I mean, George Romero, I met him like that too. Probably couldn't have afforded it if I wasn't a volunteer.
Yeah, and so that's something that everybody does recommend, and I absolutely would love to do it. I totally don't have the attention span, but no, I absolutely admire these guys. And when it comes to volunteers, absolutely give the most respect to the volunteers. I know you guys, and that's the whole thing. These guys are the unsung heroes. These guys deal with so much bullshit. I'm sure Robbie can tell you tons of stories. Oh my God, of just entitled guests. And I don't mean guests as in the celebrities. I just mean average con goers.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, who just like, all right, so I mean, how should people like talk to volunteers?
People should talk to volunteers how you ideally should talk to any human being, basically, with respect and how you would think people should be, social and pleasant, or even if you're not a pleasant person, just use your manners, and you don't want to piss them off.
Because you have to talk to people like they're freaking 5. Use your manners.
Yeah, but seriously, I mean, it's just. Use your common sense. I mean, talk to them how you would talk to anybody else. You want to ask a question, just, be cool about it. Don't be a dick. Don't be a douche. Don't feel entitled. This isn't just for you. This is for everybody.
Yeah.
And
if
don't be
what, John?
It's like the more you know. Spooky Empire. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Yeah, I think we need those on T-shirts.
Yes.
Yeah. But and if you are going to volunteer, the one thing I absolutely recommend, please know your stuff. I can't tell you, as a con goer, a number of us have gone to Spooky Empire, and a lot of the newer people don't know anything. And I know we're probably going to run into that this year because it's a new venue. But if you're going to volunteer, please know your business. Know what people are going to ask you. Where's this? Where's this? When's this? Please know your stuff, or have a program on hand, or know where to direct someone where they can get an answer.
Absolutely. Volunteers get a special map that nobody else gets, and they should know their stuff. Yeah. You get it's called a one sheet, and it's a different color every day. So, and on this one sheet, it tells you what the color of the wristband is for the day, what time is every panel, what time is anything that you want to know, Q&A or whatever, is on there. Maps with everything on there. So you should always keep that in your pocket as a volunteer. But I can guarantee you that this year, because it is in a new venue, it's going to be very challenging for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So be patient with the volunteers for that very reason, because if you're a volunteer, if you don't know, direct them to someone who does. But as a con goer, please just be patient with the volunteers. They're struggling just like you are. We're all learning this new place.
Common courtesy for everyone that that's a spooky.
But John, what I was telling everybody is that I did find out that Spooky TV is absolutely returning. And I was telling everyone that it's a great thing. It's a great distraction in the hotel room when you want to take a break, or if you're changing your costume, or if you want to watch a panel and you can't get in. It'll probably be on Spooky TV over the weekend. So Spooky TV is very cool. You'll probably see. You know what you'll probably see? You'll probably see the costume contest from the past couple years, where this bastard right here, this guy is placed in the past couple of contests. You won last year or the year before?
I won the last 2 Spookies. Once by myself and once as a group, and I may have pissed off Robbie.
Oh, no. Are you crazy?
That's right, we have a bunch of winners here.
I was flattered. I'm like on stage with Beetlejuice right now, even though he wasn't. But I was like,
he's Beetlejuice. Let's be honest.
I'm never not Beetlejuice.
Wait, hold on.
It doesn't matter what I wear. I am open.
Which, John, we're going to get into a whole fun diva one when we talk about costuming and whatnot.
Right.
Oh!
I got this at Walker Stalker.
Yes.
This is you, right?
Is that Flowers?
I want to say, yeah, it's you, right?
We have the same print. He's a sweetheart. We got it from him in, I think, TampaCon last year. I don't remember, but I absolutely went nuts when I saw that print and had to get it.
Me too. I saw it and I'm like, that's John. It's Beetlejuice, but I want that. So you're totally in my living room now.
Aww.
Wait, you have John in every home.
Yeah, you see, I'm the
Actually,
what?
Hold on.
Oh, he's talking. Okay.
There. See it?
Ah!
Oh, there it is!
There it is!
Yay!
That's really cool.
Oh wait, hold on.
Okay. So yes, there was Spooky TV and rickshaw drivers. Those of you that may have not been to the Orlando Convention Center before, you don't know about the rickshaw drivers. If you're going to leave the hotel for any reason, don't call a cab because they take forever, and 9 times out of 10 they're absolute ripoffs. The end of October is absolutely gorgeous weather in Orlando. Well, they're not really rickshaw drivers. What are they, like bike taxis?
Called. It is.
It's like a rickshaw with a bike instead of a little Asian man.
Yeah, yeah.
However,
So
talking about tipping, if you take the rickshaw, I believe they are still not legally allowed to charge for that.
Really?
So part of the issue years ago with the rickshaw drivers, or whatever the hell they are, they could not charge to take people places because they need a taxi license.
Oh.
License for that.
Okay.
So they do everything based off of tip.
Okay.
They
That
will
makes sense.
estimated tip amount, but it's not a charge.
Okay.
Always more than they're estimating. And if they don't estimate you a cost, give them at minimum flat $10 minimum.
Yeah.
And
That's a good tip.
that's usually for at least 2 people. If you have more than 2 people or you're carrying shit, double it.
No, that absolutely makes sense. And those of you who've done MegaCon, you know about the rickshaw drivers, and that you can negotiate with them. Normally, if you get there early and you get like one particular guy, that guy usually you can work something out and have something with him the whole weekend. It's International Drive. The restaurants, which we're going to get to in a second, there are restaurants on site at the Hyatt, but some of you may need something a bit cheaper. And walking anywhere on International Drive is just a pain. It's easier to take the rickshaws. So put some money aside for that and try to negotiate with a couple of those guys as far as tips and whatever for the rickshaws. But definitely utilize those rickshaw drivers as opposed to the taxis. I mean, every time I've taken a taxi, it's been a nightmare.
Also, I mean, in light of if you're trying to save money, truly, what I did last time is I brought a cooler, and I had cold cuts. I brought bread. I brought fruit. I brought a case of water. I brought Red Bull. I mean, I was ready to go. If you're staying there, it's a good idea because you don't want to have to get on that mission of having to leave the hotel to get some food or pay $15 for a grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah, that's something I definitely want to do, like a whole show on the best ways to save money, which is probably what one I'll do next. But John, you were going to say?
Mm-hmm.
I was totally going to agree. So we do similar. Like I said earlier, we drink pretty heavily that weekend. And our favorite thing to bring are fruit cups, pineapple fruit cups, because the sugar is amazing after a night of drinking. Tuna packets, crackers, trail mix, and something else. I forget. Oh, granola bars.
Yeah. Beef jerky is also good too, especially for protein. Beef jerky is amazing.
Several types of snack food, and we never buy food from them unless at the Hyatt they had the little food vendors, not at the restaurants. But the guy was selling corn dogs for $2 a corn dog. Those are the best corn dogs on earth.
Okay, let's see. Actually, you guys talk for a second. I'm trying to figure something out here because I had the whole Yelp list of like for those that were interested in places to eat that weren't in the hotel. Because the hotel. Now, one of the things that they did tell me. Let me see. Let me get this screen share thing going. One of the things they did tell me is that they are going to be running specials for Spooky. So there is the 24-hour. Most of the stuff in the hotel is 24 hours. There's the Beeline Diner, which is 24 hours. You can look this stuff up on Yelp. There is the Italian Steakhouse for those of you that want like some sort of fancy meal of some sort. Let me see if I can do this screen share thing here. Bear with me.
It's usually where you catch the celebrities eating.
That's true, and
So
that is very true.
if
That's
you
something I was
wanna
going to
see
bring up.
somebody cool, invest in a good dinner in one of those nights, and you'll see somebody.
All right, let's see if I can bring this up. All right, here's Yelp, and let's see. There's the 24-hour Beeline Diner. It seems pretty cheap, all things considered. The Fiorenzo Italian Steakhouse, very, very upscale. Urbantide was a very upscale place that was down by the pool, but it's very, very expensive for those of you that want that. There is a place here, and I think it's right next door. 9840 Tapas and Tequila. I don't know if you guys know anything about any of these places.
Nope.
Okay. Okay, but this is just for those of you that want to have a dinner out or whatever.
I know Taverna Opa, number 6 there, they usually have a belly dancer on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, I think.
Yeah, that's actually one of the better places in Orlando. If you like Greek food, I absolutely recommend Taverna Opa. Let's see, Tommy Bahama, I don't know about that place.
Isn't that
Orlando.
or sunglasses or something?
The what?
Tommy Bahama, isn't it like sunglasses or clothes or something like that?
It might be.
Line.
Hats?
Yeah, they have a clothing line out of it, but
Yeah,
it's,
right? Okay.
Oh, okay.
it's who's that really tacky beach singer? Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy
Oh God.
Buffett, yeah.
Jimmy Buffett. So it's like he has a restaurant, and it's like a themed store and also a restaurant, like
Margaritaville.
Ugh. Which
It's
is a whole
it's
other
on City
conversation.
Walk in Universal. Oh, look, a Cuban restaurant.
Yes, I was going to mention Cuba Libre. There is a it's Point Orlando. Is the there's Johnny Rockets there, and there's a big movie theater there, and apparently it's about a quarter mile away. If you go to eat somewhere, I absolutely recommend Cuba Libre. Their spring rolls are absolutely amazing. I absolutely do recommend them.
Yeah, usually Cuban food is a lot of food for not a lot of money, which is,
Yeah.
unless you go to downtown Disney to that place, then you get ripped off.
But there are a couple other places here. I don't know how many of these places are good, but I mean, you can look this stuff up on Yelp. So that gives you that idea there.
restaurants. If you are going to a restaurant that's in the immediate vicinity of the hotel or the con, and you need food now, go somewhere else. They're always on a tremendous wait. No one cares that you're super hungry because there are 500 other con goers who all decided they wanted to go to Red Lobster at noon at lunchtime Friday. Suck it up.
And there is Red Lobster, like he said, there's Red Lobster, and there's also McDonald's that's in the other direction, other than like Cuba Libre and all these places. That's about a half mile up the road, and remember, it is a city block, so it is a bit of a ways. But there is Red Lobster, and there is McDonald's for those of you that are interested. So, but there's really not much there, though, just because it is right across from the convention center, and the convention center spans like a few blocks.
There is a huge Walgreens right across the street from that, which is good to know.
Yeah, no, you're right, and I completely did forget about that, and so that's why I wanted to talk to you guys about like what you remembered being in that area, because a lot of people may not know like what's actually in that area. So like that Walgreens, I'm trying to remember where that Walgreens is. You guys, well, I mean, where's that Walgreens as compared to like the Peabody?
It's, I think, right near the Rosen Center, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's I want to say north of the Rosen Center.
It's like right next door because there's is the Rosen Center the one that had the giant parking garage behind it?
Yes.
It is literally next door to the Rosen Center.
Yeah.
Okay.
They share part of a parking lot, so good to go there.
Okay. All right. Oh, go ahead, John.
If you guys are smokers, do not buy the cigarettes at the hotel. Bring extra packs.
Yeah, don't buy any of the stuff from the hotel because the gift shops, like, there is a gift shop there, but they totally overcharge.
Yes,
So,
it was $8 for a 2-ounce bottle of hairspray once.
Oh.
Oh, dear Lord.
It's bad. It was
Pretty
needed,
bad.
though. You need that.
You don't need it that much. But yeah, but definitely the Walgreens. I've used that Walgreens many, many times. I know where she's talking about. So if there's something that you need last minute, you know, deodorant, whatever, definitely go to that Walgreens. Which brings us to the last thing I did want to discuss, and quite arguably one of the more important things when it comes to spooky, hygiene. Let's talk about hygiene, because we have to have this discussion every goddamn year, and you guys never fucking listen, and I don't understand. And so we're going to go through how to keep proper hygiene. So, I'm going to get to these two in a second, because I know they're like chomping at the bit to like tell y'all motherfuckers that you stink.
I'm going to take my camera to the bathroom and show you bitches how to shower. Like, It's not hard. Let's do it. Let's do a tutorial. Let's do a rundown.
Yes.
We need to go back to middle school on this one.
Okay, one of the first things, don't use the hotel soap. Hotel soap, and this may be the Hyatt Regency, but you're better off bringing something a bit more extra strength. You're going to be sweating, you're going to be in crowds, there's going to be a lot of people around. You're better off bringing your preferred soap from home.
Use a washcloth with the soap from the hotel.
Okay.
The most elementary conversation I've ever had, and I'm really sad that it feels like a necessity again.
It does, because every year we end up with these guys in line that have no clue, and people aren't self-aware. They don't know. They don't do like personal sniff checks. And it tends to be more with men than it does women, but when women start drinking, it starts happening, and it's just all disgusting. And I don't understand how people don't know that they smell. But okay, so yes, let's see, hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer is very important for a number of reasons. Because a lot of you stink and smell, and a lot of people don't know how to stay home when they're sick. Keep yourself, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm totally mind blanking here. To keep yourself healthy, and not get, and it prevents like con crud and stuff, which is a whole other conversation. Hand sanitizer all the time. Actually, I'm going to hand this over to you guys for a second because there's something I want to show people, and I got to go get it. So, John, tell people about hygiene.
Okay. So there is acceptable levels of being dirty, which I know the other two will argue, and thank God they're both off screen. Oh, Robbie. Yes, I love that mask so much. So the only time it's acceptable to smell bad at a con is if you are wearing a costume that does not breathe in Florida. I have been in full leather in the sun in Florida at these cons. I have worn heavy armor at cons. We were talking about Beetlejuice earlier. That hat weighs about 6 or 7 pounds, and it is 2.5 feet tall. My entire outfit is made out of couch fabric. I don't breathe in that. If someone comes up and asks for a hug, I will tell them flat out, I kind of smell like shit. But when I take it off, I will scrub everything and make sure I don't continue to smell like shit. If you are in street clothes, t-shirt, shorts, anything other than heavy costume, and you are doing anything and you smell bad, you are your own fault for smelling bad, and everybody hates you because everyone can smell it.
Okay, Robbie, what are you doing? I totally missed something.
I was demonstrating the plague mask.
Oh, yeah, that is actually is added bonus to that, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. It definitely keeps you away from people and their shit.
Oh, that's a good thing about wearing masks, that's for damn sure. Okay,
Yeah.
this right here, clinical strength deodorant. They sell it. Please go get this. See, it says clinical strength. You see that? It says clinical strength. Don't go with like some dollar Right Guard or Axe or some bullshit like that. Go out and get clinical strength and put this shit on at least twice a day. Please, 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 please. This is very, very important. Clinical strength. One of the other things that I absolutely recommend, especially for those of you that wear costumes, there's a site, lushusa.com. There's Lush stores. There's like Malmlania or whatever. Dusting powder. And I know John will agree with me on this.
What is it?
A dusting powder?
Yes.
Like cornstarch powder, stuff like that. There's stuff called Silky Underwear, and it's like all vegan, blah, 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 whatever. Use cornstarch powder because that absorbs moisture, and you're less likely to sweat. There's one called Silky Underwear. This one's called Vanilla Puff. I prefer this one. But dust yourself, and so you won't be sweating nearly as much. And every con goer should always have a small bottle of Febreze for many, 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 many reasons.
The only thing I'll disagree with the Febreze, yes, we carry Febreze because it's good to descent the heavy, disgusting things that we wear in the sun. I don't like the smell of Axe body spray.
Oh, everybody hates Axe. Don't let anybody fool you. Axe sucks.
It sucks. Bring the spooky, because if there's freaks that somehow cannot figure out how to operate their shower, I would rather smell a truckload of Axe body spray,
Ew.
a kid, than your BO and ball sweat.
I suppose, but that's why I always recommend carrying the Febreze around because, like, and I've said this a number of times before. Say you're standing in line for a panel or something, and someone in front of you smells. Just break this out of your pocket, couple of spritzes, and when they're not looking, and it helps. Especially if, like, oh my God, if someone crop dusts you in line, which it happens. Just carrying this around, just like I've always wanted to do, like the Febreze carries. Just like a troop of people walking around with just to spray people.
I feel
But-
like
We'll do that sometime.
a booth at any con, like when you walk in, of just a group of people with goodie bags full of basic toiletries,
Yes.
Great.
are
Yeah.
handed it on your way in and are forced to stop at a bathroom and apply it all before you can enter. Like, Spooky should invest in these little bags and
That's a great idea. They should have like Advil and condoms and lube.
Oh, condoms. Oh God, yes.
there's always at least one person I know who gets knocked up at Spooky. Or has a pregnancy.
Oh.
Maybe knocked up, but there's always like a, I think I missed my period conversation like 2 weeks later.
So yeah,
Okay.
all those things. Yes.
We'll be discussing that. that's for a future cast. But
Are
yes,
Are secrets about Spooky? Like call them
about pregnant people. Yeah. Okay, but yes, clinical strength deodorant, dusting powder, definitely, or cornstarch powder of some sort, and keep it low on the perfumes and the body sprays and stuff. Body spray is not soap.
It's not, but it's better than ball sweat.
But I don't. No, I want to give people proper information. I don't want to say, oh, okay, well, if you smell like ass instead of balls. No.
For a shower. It's not a replacement for soap and water.
No.
Soap
Exactly.
and water.
You
Soap
Yes.
and water.
are not listen to my advice. I am sober. I am not very qualified right now.
But you don't smell, so you are qualified.
That we know of.
Yeah, that we know of. That is true.
Smell usually in one costume. It's a heavy costume. What do you want from me?
No, and heavy costume, and that's exactly why I talk about layering. It's like, so you shower, and then you put the deodorant on, and then it's called layering, so then there's one thing at a time, and trust me, people will thank you for it, especially those of you that plan on hooking up at Spooky, which definitely happens, and we'll have a whole cast on hooking up and getting pregnant and whatnot, and we'll get into that. Definitely, one of the things that to hook up, start using this stuff. It's very, 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 very important.
She brought all the deodorant in the house.
Dude, I have more than that. I am so paranoid about being one of those people who smell. I've got like at least 6 or 7 different things that I go through just to make sure. That's just important, man. It's like it's one-on-one stuff, but
agree.
because we all have stories about being behind that fanboy with the con.
Florida is like probably the least best state to have any con at, really. Unless it's like winter time, but
We don't have any cons in the winter.
Yeah.
we should.
No, we really don't. We should, but we don't.
Summer
Yeah.
fall into the summer and hot months, and then we're like, oh, it's cold. It's totally appropriate for all these people to be wearing insane costumes. No. We're good. We're not
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last thing to go with the whole layering and whatnot and Axe sucks and all that. And what a lot of people tend to forget, they put on the deodorant, they put on the Febreze and all that, whatever. They always forget to check their breath. Because how many times has somebody walked up to you, and I see you both smiling, because this has happened to you every single time. Someone walks up to you, and it smells like they've just eaten the ass of a dog.
Yeah, dog shit. Or cat
And-
shit, depending, I don't know.
Yes, please carry breath mints or some Banaka or whatever, please.
Oh, yeah.
Check your breath, man.
cool, Robbie. Like, what story do you have about Banaka?
We need to know the Banaka story.
Yeah, we do. No, but I'm definitely somebody that carries Altoids in my pocket.
Yes, Altoids.
I am glad to give away my mints to anybody that needs them.
Yes, and people, and that's one of the great things about Spooky is that for those of you that haven't been to Spooky before, just like these two, everybody is so incredibly friendly. And John and I have had many, many conversations about this, about the best people in the world, the most genuine people in the world are people at horror conventions. And you'd think it would be the other way around. It's really, really not. The most accepting people are the people that you will meet at Spooky. And every year I hear everyone talk about how they make the greatest friends here. We've all become family because of this convention. So it's like, if you see one of us, like, if you just see somebody with breath mints and ask for one, they're going to give you a breath mint, you know?
And know that, I think another important thing about this group is that everybody's so really very nice but honest at the same time. And I've actually learned a lot going to Spooky Empire, in my life, because I've become a much more honest person, for real. Like,
Nice.
If I feel some way, well, I'm gonna tell it to you. I'm gonna be nice about it. But if your breath stinks, here you go. Have some Altoids.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I do love about these people is someone like John. If you stink, he'll walk up to you. He'll tell you. He'll be not nice. He'll be.
Thank you very much.
I am a sweetheart at all times. I am. Yep.
Yep.
I engage in Saturday night bitch sessions with Demi at 2 a.m. about drunk girls. Love.
Because we will, and we will bitch about you, but we love you, so. That pretty much sums, I think we've gone long enough for this one, but that covers the basics for Spooky Empire. We'll be doing more about this when we get into celebrity etiquette, when we get into costuming, we get into con essentials of what to pack, all sorts of other stuff. Like I said, hookups and all that good stuff. We'll get into that. But yes, so stay tuned, and we'll have these two hooligans back for more stuff. And I never know how to end these things, so bye!